But you have always done it this way? Like was it very different 20 years ago?
I think in the very early days we used to work differently because we didn't have the ability to record everything like we do now. So we might jam and somebody would come up with an idea, but then we'd have to work on it straight away because we didn't have it recorded. So unless you started working on it, you'd forget it, you know.
Yeah.
So we'd sort of try and develop things into bits of songs, and you play them again and again and again. The next day you come back, oh yeah, let's play that thing again and see if we can take it a stage further. So you would write the songs one at a time, and then you play them at gigs, and then you might throw them out and decide they're no good, or take them and record them. But now, because we constantly have recording software going, everything we do is saved. But it doesn't mean you then have to go through it all and listen to it and pick out the best bits. So, so it's, they've both got their good points. Yeah, in the old days it was a much more traditional way of writing songs. Somebody would come up with an idea, we'd develop it into a song. Now it's slower.
Slower, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and also you've changed a lot from musical direction, it seems. But then again, you work very, you always pretty much work the same way.
Well, certainly.
Where does that come from? Especially in the 90s, I think every album was pretty different from the one before. So.
Yeah, it's just, I suppose most of it is influences that maybe you're not even conscious of, but you know, whatever's going on. I mean, you can hear it when you go back, when you listen back to the old stuff. You can really hear that they are a product of the year that they were made, even from...
Can you give an example?
Well, like Radiation, for example, some of the music on that's quite sort of, I don't know, grungy and hard sounding, and at that time in music there was a lot of that stuff going on. It obviously had an influence on us, and if you go back to the early 90s, Holidays in Eden, the sounds of the songs and the type of songs sounded like something from the late 80s, early 90s, you know. But at the time you don't realise that. But so even though we like to think that we're somehow separate from the rest of what's going on in music, of course we're not, because you hear it all, and it gets subconsciously absorbed. And even you know, okay, This Is the 21st Century, the track from Arachnophobia, it's got like a sort of trancey beat to it. We wouldn't have been able to do that 10 years previously because that sort of thing wasn't really around, you know. So.
Okay, and the stuff you're working on now, is that already have a direction, you would say?
Yeah, well, actually, what's different, I think, about the most recent stuff that we've been working on is because of the way that in the past with the jams, we would then take something we liked and develop it musically in the room with the five of us. What's happening is some of these ideas are being developed in the computer, so they'll be chopped around and edited and developed that way. So the sound and the arrangements are different to the way that we would work if we were literally just playing it all again. So I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's, you know, it's nice to listen to. There's something quite rewarding about having a jam one day, coming back the next day, and Mike saying, "Have a listen to this," and you play it. He plays it, and you go, "Oh, that's really good. Did we do that?" He said, "Well, you did do it, but I've had to move it around a little bit, you know." So it's
almost like a bit like sampling how you're working.
Exactly. He's almost like sampling stuff that we've played and moving it around and maybe, you know, putting things together or changing the order of things or editing bits in or out. And then sometimes we would actually say, well, that's great, let's just use that. What's the point of us going and playing it all again just to try and recreate what you've just made from the jam? So then we'd take that and then we'd add more to it, work on it. Obviously, there'd have to be, you know, there'd be singing and God knows what else, but the original song will have been built up from the actual jam that we played rather than from the process of arranging it and then replaying it all, you know.